I was staying with my daughter for Christmas, and it was a couple of days before Christmas, and we were sitting around talking, and I had a bad headache, Rachel said, and I said to her that it was the worst headache I'd ever had. And then I went off to bed, surrounded by Rachel's dogs, and I woke up and wanted to go to the loo, so I tried to get out of bed, and I just kept falling over, and Rachel's boys came to help me, and they were trying to hold me up, and then they got Rachel, and she realised it was very bad. That's when we got, not an ambulance, that's when Oscar put me in the back of Rachel's car and she took me to the Alfred Hospital. And so I didn't know anything more until I woke up the next morning in the hospital bed in the Alfred Hospital. And they were very good to me there. It's a very good hospital.
And how long were you there for, Sally?
Probably about 8 weeks, I think.
Right. And then you went to rehab.
And then there was an opportunity to go to rehab, but there were certain criteria you had to meet. And I didn't pass them. Then they said they could give me a bed. And I enjoyed that. They were marvellous there because there were occupational therapists and physios on tap all the time. And they made you work very hard, and I got to know them all very well. And they were good collection of people, very good people.
And then you did rehab here.
And then I came back here,
Perth,
yes.
And then you came...
Well, not to the same extent here, though. I go to physiotherapy privately here, to Hutt Physio. There is a physio who calls in here, but she doesn't have the time to spend, not the intensive therapy that I get by doing it privately.
Right.
I'm just learning to stand again. It's hard to think that you can't just stand. When you think about it, you have to sit, you have to think, how do I go about standing up? And you have to lift your bottom of whatever you're sitting on. And I'm just doing it now. I stood for 1 minute 20 seconds today, which was good, according to the physio. She was very happy.
So, Sally, can you tell us what's the hardest thing about being old?
Being physically incapable. To me. I've always worked very hard physically. And there's so many things I can't do now. And sitting in a wheelchair and planting stuff in your garden is not nearly as much fun. Always lived on a farm or in the country.
Okay.
Except for a few brief stints in cities. So you either got busy and did it yourself or forgot it. But I haven't really had a good go at doing anything yet. I don't know how I'll cope. I used to make wedding dresses and bridesmaids dresses and ball dresses, and now I might not be able to. I don't rely on it anymore, so it won't be major like that. Simply being, if I want something to wear, I think I'll make it. Now I can't. That frustrates me because I have a huge collection of fabric that I can just, if I wanted something, I can think, oh, I can use so and so and go and make it. Now I have to buy it.
What advice would you give to us nurses and caregivers who work in residential care?
To be respectful of people's personal identities.
Yeah.
And if you're thinking about yourself, to be as fit as possible. I was lucky that I was very fit. I probably wouldn't have survived as well as I have. And one advantage that I have now, I read a lot, and I've got time to read everything I want to read now. But I can't go and spend hours in the library looking for things I want to read.
Right.
Well, I could, but it's not as easy as it used to be. We all have our little ups and downs, but generally I think we're pretty well looked after here. I have a meal in the dining room in the evenings, and I go and listen to the music when there was just a girl singing this afternoon. Unfortunately, I can't sing, so I'm not able to join in. I've had a problem with my esophagus, which means my voice is very croaky, so even if I tried to sing, it would be terrible.
Could you sing before?
No.
Before you had your stroke? Okay.
Well,
so.
the choir mistress at my school thought so, but I think she was deluded. When I wanted to leave, she said, "But you're the backbone of the choir," and I thought, "Really, Mrs. Young?"
Perhaps you sang loudly.
I might have, yes. I probably did. I didn't have a very good voice. And I was very astonished just before my mother died. One night my brother were talking, and she said that she could sing quite well. She didn't understand why none of her children could. And she sang something for us, and she did have a nice voice too. I had no idea that she did. Well, I was married to a man who liked to embarrass his entire family in church by singing very loudly. The children used to subside down under their seats in embarrassment. So it's probably just as well I didn't sing too.
Double whammy.
It would have been more embarrassing.
And Sally, what advice would you give to us if we were in your situation on how to manage?
Well, have some interests that you can pursue without making big physical effort. I don't play sports to any great degree. Well, I used to ski, and I used to play a lot of tennis, but that won't be happening anymore. But have something that you can do, because it gets pretty boring sitting in a wheelchair day after day. And be aware that if you have a stroke, you're going to suffer some pain.
And how have you managed that?
Well, I did for quite a long time, managed it with pain relief, but I don't have any anymore. Well, it went very good for me. Some of the heavy stuff you take makes you constipated, which is not something to be endured when you're as immobile as this.
Yeah.
So you must have to have quite a strong mind.
Yes. Once I make it up to do something, I can usually stick to it, so I have.
And your physio helps?
My physio wears me out. I sleep very well afterwards.
But it must have felt good today to make that progress of standing.
Well, it did. It's a huge effort, though.
I understand the tiredness after a stroke can be quite phenomenal.
Yes, it is. If one of you would mind giving me some tissues, please, there should be a box. A good big handful, please, Ross. Thank you. Thanks.
Could you tell the ladies what you did with Ashley in the kitchen the other day? Because she was buzzing.
Yes. We did some baking. She hasn't done much baking, so we had a lot of fun sorting out all the things she had to watch. We made pikelets, so we made chocolate chip pikelets, if you can imagine it. They were actually very nice. And we made some Martha Stewart biscuits, which were the biggest success. They were just beautiful.
So who's Ashley?
She's our recreation person.
Oh, okay. Oh, right.
Yeah, she used to be the receptionist, but she does a very good job with recreation. Everybody loves to do things with her because she's got such a nice personality.
Okay.
She's 21 and had never baked, so needed Sally's guidance. So Sally was teaching her.
So you were.
Well, I was the mentor. I was the one who told her when to turn the pikelets, when the bubbles come. Yes. But we have a discussion group as well, which is quite good fun. She called it a mother's group to start with, but she wasn't a mother, so she said she couldn't be in, but she had a cat, so we said she could stick around.
Yeah, probably every mother in New Zealand would know when to turn the pikelets, wouldn't they?
Yes, you would think so.
Okay.
We done.
They probably know how to make them too.
Oh, thank you.
That's good, Sally. Thank
That's
you.
great.